How they bullied the Nigerian beauty queen out of the contest. The stage was dazzling, bathed in golden lights that reflected off every sequin and sparkle. The Afro Glam Beauty pageant was in full swing, and the grand hall buzzed with excitement. Among the contestants stood Amara, her blue gown flowing like waves around her as she took her place at the center of the stage. The crowd's cheers filled her ears, and for a moment, she allowed herself to imagine the crown resting on her head. Amara had prepared for this night for years. Every early morning run, every late night practice, every word she had rehearsed 100 times, all led to this moment. The judges had been impressed, and she could almost feel the victory within her grasp. But just as she began to smile, Madame Efua, the head judge with sharp eyes and an even sharper tongue, stood up with a frown. "Ladies and gentlemen," Madame Efua's voice rang out, cutting through the applause like a knife. "We have just received information that requires us to disqualify one of our contestants. Amara does not meet the nationality requirements for this competition." Amara's breath caught in her throat. The words hung heavy in the air, echoing over and over in her mind. She felt the eyes of the audience turn to her, whispers rising like a tide she couldn't control. "This can't be right," Amara whispered, her voice barely audible over the murmurs. But the announcement was final. She walked off the stage, each step feeling like she was moving through quicksand. Backstage, Amara sank into a chair, burying her face in her hands as tears streamed down her cheeks. Her dream was shattered, right there in front of everyone. She grabbed her phone, hesitating before unlocking it. Notifications flooded her screen, and she reluctantly scrolled through them. Cruel comments were everywhere, cutting deeper than any words spoken to her face. "She's not even from here," one comment read. "How dare she try to represent us? Total fraud." Another jabbed at her relentlessly. "Disqualified? Good. She had no business being in the competition anyway." Amara's eyes stung as she read the hateful messages, each one a reminder that she wasn't wanted. She had grown up in this country, celebrated its traditions, and dreamed of representing it. Now, she felt like an outsider in a place she had always called home. Her best friend, Chinwe, found her curled up in a corner, tears streaking her cheeks. Chinwe sat beside her and pulled her into a hug. "It's not fair, Amara," she said, her voice trembling. "You deserve to be up there. You have worked harder than anyone." Amara pulled away, wiping her tears but unable to stop them. "It feels like everything I've done means nothing," she said, her voice breaking. "They're tearing me apart online. It's like I don't belong anywhere." Amara stood up, looking at her phone. Chinwe stood up too and opened her phone to check social media comments about Amara. Chinwe looked at her, eyes full of empathy. "Don't listen to them, they don't know you like I do. You are more than this pageant, and no one can take away your worth." But Amara's pain ran deep. She sat down, turned to the mirror, staring at her reflection. The tear-streaked makeup, the puffy eyes, the broken dream. She barely recognized herself. The crown she had dreamed of felt further away than ever. For days, Amara couldn't bring herself to leave her room. She avoided her phone, dreading the comments that never seemed to stop. Then, one night, while she lay in bed, her phone buzzed with a notification. It was a video someone had tagged her in, a clip from her childhood that she hadn't seen in years. On the screen, a younger Amara, no more than 6 years old, spun around her living room in a plastic tiara, her small face lit up with joy. "I'm going to be a queen one day," she declared, twirling with the confidence of a girl who believed in her dreams. Amara watched herself, tears pooling in her eyes. She had been so full of hope back then, so sure of her path. The memory sparked something inside her, a small flame of the determination that had once driven her. Amara sat up, wiped her tears, and picked up her phone. She opened her social media app and began typing, her fingers moving with a renewed sense of purpose. I was disqualified, but this is not the end of my journey, she wrote. I may not have the crown, but I still have my dreams. Thank you to everyone who has supported me. This is just the beginning. Amara's words touched the hearts of those who had felt overlooked or unworthy, and slowly, the narrative around her began to change. In the days that followed, Amara returned to her routine, not for another pageant, but for herself. She walked out, practiced her walk, and stared in the mirror each morning, reminding herself that she was more than a title. One afternoon, as she looked at her reflection, she didn't see the girl who had been disqualified. She saw a young woman with fire in her eyes and dreams too big for any crown to hold. This is just the beginning, she whispered to herself, smiling through the tears. The world might have tried to dim her light, but Amara knew she was destined to shine brighter than ever because, few months later, she contested and won a beauty pageant. This is Royal Tales and More TV.